Good afternoon, everyone. The news on COVID-19 is not good this week as there was an increase in cases in both Ontario and locally. Ontario reported 3,752 new cases this week, with the Grey Bruce Health Unit reporting 10 new cases. 5 of these cases were reported from Meaford and 1 from the town of the Blue Mountains. Yesterday, the Grey Bruce Health Unit reported it has identified a cluster of COVID-19 cases in eastern Grey County, resulting from some individuals failing to adhere to social gathering recommendations, regulations, and basic COVID-19 preventative guidelines. A number of these active cases share a common association. The Grey Bruce Health Unit press release states, in the last few days, the Grey Bruce Health Unit contact tracing has followed up with approximately 100 contacts, including 32 known high-risk close contacts with this one cluster. Subsequent testing confirmed 6 individuals positive for COVID-19. Those individuals, as well as all of the close contacts in this cluster, have been asked to self-isolate for 14 days. It is expected a few more people currently being monitored by the health unit as a result of this cluster could test positive virus in the coming days. Cases will continue to be identified on the health unit's daily situation report. In this case, we are confident we have reached the close contacts of this cluster and we are managing them, and it's not beyond our capacity. So there is no need to post a business or post a name or location, said Dr. Ianera, Grey Bruce Medical Officer of Health. While the outbreak is in several communities, the one thing in common is that people lowered their guard. It is mainly related to people overextending social gatherings and having too many contacts. Although not connected to this cluster, similar cases of individuals failing to heed limits on contacts continue to emerge. My own comments on this are that with the increase in cases throughout Ontario, it is not surprising that we have a few cases pop up in our town. What is disturbing, however, is the fact that the Grey Bruce Health Unit contact tracing had to follow up with approximately 100 contacts, with 32 known high-risk close contacts within this one cluster. I have also received reports of people having dinner parties and other gatherings in contravention of provincial orders and the guideline to maintain a social bubble of no more than 10 people. I want to thank Dr. Era and his team at the Grey Bruce Health Unit for doing such an excellent job in tracing and contacting the cases we saw this week. Contact tracing is an important tool in containing the spread of COVID-19 in our community. However, it is only manageable if there are relatively few cases, and those cases have a limited number of close, high-risk contacts. I am extremely disappointed that a small number of residents are contravening provincial orders and public health guidelines and putting our community at risk. In doing so, they are being completely irresponsible and showing a complete disregard for the health of their family, friends, and neighbors, as well as a lack of respect for our community. As these people seem incapable of understanding the potential consequences of their actions, I will spell it out clearly for them. If we have people like you who continue to ignore provincial orders and guidelines, it will only be a matter of time before COVID takes hold in our community. Our businesses have to close and people get sick and die. As you appear to be selfish and do not care about the health of your family, friends, and neighbors and your community, I ask you to consider the impact on yourselves. We are a small, tight-knit community, and your family, friends, neighbors, and other community members will know that it is you who have behaved irresponsibly. Even if you don't get sick and die, consider how you will be looked upon for the rest of your life when it is your actions that lead to the spread of COVID in our community and the death of a family member, friend, neighbor, or community member. To the vast majority of our residents who are doing their best to keep our community safe, I want to thank you for your dedication and sacrifice. Working together and supporting one another, we can get through this safely. Public health reminds everyone to break the spread of COVID, it is important to continue to follow the current public health guidance, including 1, maintaining your social bubble. 2, watching your distance and maintaining physical distancing of 2 meters between yourself and others. 3, washing your hands frequently with soap and water or an alcohol-based hand sanitizer. 4, wearing face coverings correctly in indoor public spaces. I want to thank everybody in our community for all the work they are doing to keep us safe. Have a good weekend and stay safe.